TF2 is never going to end. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Let's get this giant elephant out of the room. Team Fortress 2 is not going to be shelved. It's not gonna disappear. It's not gonna be wiped off the face of the planet anytime soon. Okay, this game, this franchise, whatever you want to call it, it's touched thousands upon thousands of people all around the world. It's some people's livelihoods. It's some people's ultimate passion. There's a lot of us that just dump all of our free time into Team Fortress 2, whether that be playing it or making things for it or whatever else. And take it from me as someone who's had TF2 be a part of their life for the past 12 years, it's not going anywhere, okay? TF2's had a lot of ups and downs in the past, since it existed, but there's been this trend lately that I'm not a big fan of, and I thought that you and me should have a little parasocial heart-to-heart, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what they say, opinions are like penises, everyone's got them, it's just that mine's the best. So, I just wanted to talk about a bunch of stuff, but at first I want to talk about this new Save TF2 movement. Save TF2 was a thing 2 years ago, where we all banded together and talked about how much we love the game, and honestly, I really liked Save TF2, the first one. It was really good. I think the idea was good, and it really brought TF2's problems to outside into the wider gaming sphere, which is even if you can argue that it didn't accomplish anything, I still think it was a good thing that it happened. It felt like for the first time, the whole TF2 community was united in just loving the game and being happy and positive. And that being said, I do not want this Save TF2 to follow the same trend again. The whole thing about Save TF2 starting up again was, I think, through two main reasons. It was about the item servers going down for almost 48 hours with no comment from Valve, and still no comment from Valve aside from an email, which is, I think, pretty unacceptable. And also, it's about the bot problem and how it's just consistently getting worse, and TF2 becomes more and more unplayable as time goes on. And I do think that we should not stand for it. I think we need to tell Valve how unhappy we are, and I think this new movement is really doing that. And even if nothing comes of this, I think it's better that we voice our disdain than just kind of roll over and take it, you know what I mean? So then you might be asking, why is the title or the thumbnail about acceptance or something? It makes it seem like I'm saying, hey guys, TF2's never gonna get fixed, let's roll over and just take it. And no, that's not it. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that the Team Fortress 2, the Valve of before, is not coming back. That ship has sailed, okay? There is no extra care that is going to go into this game. We have already seen all of it. And with Save TF2 now, it's not about getting new updates or whatever. It's not about porting it to Source 2 or something like that. It's just about getting the bots sorted. And it's so depressing that we need to have this big of an uproar for something that basically boils down to, hey, can your product be functional, please? That's depressing. I don't like that at all. But if that's what needs to happen, it is what needs to happen. And I think there comes a degree, especially with me, who's been in this community for so long, where you need to reach this sort of point of acceptance where Valve is not going to act like your average video game company. Now, before, that meant very good. That was a very good thing, you know? If Valve was like any other company, we'd have Team Fortress 7 right now with a season battle pass, and like it's gonna get shelved in a year for Team Fortress 8. So, you know, for lack of a better word, like Valve was different in a good way. Now they're sort of different in a alien bad way. Valve really does not care about Team Fortress 2, and you know, the blame, who you blame? Do you blame this amorphous company that is Valve, just this big blob of nothing that is like comprised of like thousand, maybe even more employees? I don't know how many employees Valve has. Do you just blame that? Well, yeah, I mean, where else do you direct it to? Someone there should be responsible and should fix the bot problem and whatever else. I don't blame the developers. Valve has like a thing where they can work on whatever they want, and you know, if they don't want to work on TF2, that's good. I mean, that's not good for us, but if they want to do something else, more power to them. So you might be asking, Indy, what's the point here? Where are you trying to get at? I think we should have some sort of acceptance here that you know, TF2 is not, Valve is not going to pick up TF2 again and add new weapons or whatever else, and they don't need to. Okay, we're well past that point, and I see mostly younger fans making these proclaims and whatever, that Valve should make a final send-off update or whatever. Like, I don't get me wrong, as awesome as that would be, it is not going to happen. So you need to reach this sort of acceptance where, you know, you use your time a little more wisely. If you're going to use your time to love TF2, to advocate for TF2, then it's time to advocate for the removal of bot hosters. Because if Valve has the resources to take down fan projects and whatever else, then they probably have the resources to go against the bots who are using like publicly available GitHub cheating software or whatever. I think that is the bare minimum, and we should strive for the bare minimum. Now, the second thing I wanted to touch on in this video is the fact that we've gotten very mean as a community. As Team Fortress 2 fans, we are at each other's throats a lot, and I really think it's high time that we are all a little bit nicer to each other. And I think that's mostly exemplified with workshoppers. You know, a lot of people have gotten this idea, since workshoppers are like mostly the people who get stuff into the game for us nowadays, that there's somehow like a huge weight has been placed on their shoulders. They are responsible for like TF2's like quality and everything else, and some people have taken to that to mean that, like, you know, it's acceptable to treat them as you would treat like a big AAA studio, whereas like they like harass them and do a lot of hazing and do a lot of really nasty stuff. And I'm not going to name any names here, but I've seen it happen a good few times where a workshopper posts their first ever submission. There was one actually this morning as of recording this. It was like a little chicken bucket hat for the Scout, and it was the creator's first submission, and they just got a tsunami of hate. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest fan of that hat. I don't think it should be in the game, but it's their first hat. And, you know, it can be argued that, like, TF2 workshop is not your personal portfolio. You know, you can't just put whatever you want up there. But, you know, what happened to decency? What happened to being nice? I think, especially with the workshop, that's a big issue. There was one called Buddy Jolly, which was just, like, glasses with like mistletoes on them, and it got so much hate that within the first day it was just wiped off of the workshop. And that's gotta suck. That's gotta really suck for the creator, doesn't it? Like, Can we, like, please learn, like, decency? There is a way to criticize things, and there's a way to not criticize things. I've learned over the course of being a Team Fortress 2 YouTuber for the past year that there are definitely right ways to criticize someone's work. There's a way that you can approach the way someone does things and instruct them about what you like and what you don't like in a way that benefits both you and them. You know, you get better things and they make better things and they know where they're lacking and whatever else. But the Steam Workshop, it does not get critiques. It just gets, I mean, aside from a chosen few, I guess, and like within the inner circle of like workshoppers amongst each other, I assume. I'm not in those circles. I could not tell you. People are just mean. They just say, this sucks, you suck for making it, and throw out some words that I cannot say. And that sucks. That is not good. I think we should have a more positive outlook on the workshop. We definitely need to turn that around. And I'm not saying that the workshoppers are some sort of saints. I've seen tweets of workshoppers or like private messages that are honestly pretty nasty. But you know, we can't just condemn the entirety of this passionate sector of the community that's learned like Blender or SFM or something else just to make stuff for us, just because of a chosen few who, you know, are not conducting themselves properly. Speaking of chosen few, can we dial down the reactionarism that's been happening in TF2? Okay, what is a reactionary? Well, the way I see it, a reactionary is someone who sees something that they don't like and they immediately overreact and assume a bunch of things and just make a big whole fuss. And if you want a clear example of this, it's Prop Hunt. Prop Hunt was a massive storm that I personally got involved with. I was not a fan of Prop Hunt being potentially added to TF2, and it created some sort of us versus them mentality where people who were pro-Prop Hunt and anti-Prop Hunt got into these massive arguments that just didn't go anywhere, that were basically just, it boiled down to politics. Like, it was just like, you're either Team Prop Hunt or Team No Prop Hunt. There's no middle, there's no debating. It is either you agree, either you are with me or you are against me. That is the way that went down. And I don't think, this is not a new thing, it's just been dialing up as of late. What do you know, it's not a good thing? Well, not a new thing, I mean, well, think back to, how many years ago was this, like 3 or 4? When Face It TF2 rolled around, and there was this big talk of whether TF2 should become more competitive or TF2 should stay casual or become more casual. Now, I got swept up into this whole thing via a video by Zesty Jesus, where he, you know, had a very passionate speech or whatever about, like, you know, how TF2 should stay casual and that people want to take that away from you. And I got pumped. I got really into that. And I was like, yeah, I agree. They want to take Team Fortress 2 away from us. And only now, in retrospect, do you just look at how silly that is. Because, like, Face It is just gone now. Like, Face It, aside from posting memes on Twitter via Shork, is just completely out of the TF2 community. And so all of this anger, all this vitriol, all this Array 7 versus Zesty, like, response video to a response video to a response video, what was the point? Nothing, none of it mattered. It really did not matter in the grand scheme of things. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have big conversations, it's just that we should have a lot more constructive conversation. I think the team recognition conversation was actually pretty good. I think it was nuanced. It both sides could make a point, and I really like that. But then you have stuff like Prop Hunt or what I just said, and it's just, it doesn't matter, man. It's so stupid. Can we just, like, not jump to conclusions and write, like, 10 tweets about how amazing and right Zesty is, and then delete them out of shame the next day, please? I think that'd do us a lot of good, because, I don't know, the last thing I want out of this community is to see a whole new update full of great maps. Like, let's face it, the winter maps were great, just an update full of great maps, and then focus on some text on a door that you're not forced to look at. I don't know. That's just my opinion. My name's Indy, and I hope you stick around. I also have a Discord. And also, I would like to hear your takes in the comments. I just want to get a discussion going. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you with a real video next time.